Good morning, children. Once again, a warm welcome for the geography period. Last week, we have started with the chapter air pressure and we were studying about the pressure belts on the Earth's surface. Now, the diagram which you are observing here, I hope this is very much clear to you that this is the diagram of the pressure belts on the Earth's surface. You can see we have intertropical convergence zone. We have the diagram here showing the different pressure belts on the Earth's surface along with the winds naming here tropical easterlies, prevailing westerlies. These are the names of the winds. So we are studying the topic air pressure and the pressure belts in it. Let's continue once again. Pressure belts on the Earth's surface. The heat received from the sun is uneven in different regions. Hence, the distribution of the temperature is uneven from the equator to the poles. As a result, the temperature zones are created. We have studied this in the previous class. So, what is the pressure belts? That is the heat received. How the pressure belts are created? That is the heat received from the sun is uneven. Uneven means what? It is unequal in different regions. We do not get the same intensity of heat in each and every place, isn't it? So, the distribution of the temperature is uneven from the equator to the poles. Equator faces the direct rays of the sun, therefore, too much of heat is received on the equator. Whereas, towards the poles when we are moving, you can see the shape of the earth is also spherical. Therefore, the rays are slanting on the poles. Therefore, that much of the heat is not received on the sun. And as a result, the temperature zones are created. And we have studied this in the previous class, but now we are studying right now also. Okay. Now I have shown you this diagram last time also, the pressure belts. Pressure belts indicate the horizontal distribution of atmospheric pressure on the Earth's surface. What is horizontal? This is horizontal. Means like this. Straight in a line is called as the horizontal. There are 7 pressure belts in total. That is the equatorial low pressure belt, 2 subtropical high pressure belts, then 2 subpolar low pressure belts and 2 polar high pressure belts. You can see here this diagram also, the pressure belts diagram. Here it is. Once again the winds and the temperature zones. Here we have the temperature zones in this diagram. Okay. In this diagram we are having what? We are having the pressure belts. Zones are bigger than the belts. Belts cover a smaller area whereas zones cover a wider area. Okay. I hope this is clear to you. Last week lecture, children, we have studied about the 2 pressure belts, that is equatorial low pressure belt and the second one is mid latitudinal high pressure belts we have studied. Now today we are going to study the subpolar low pressure belts. Okay, let us see the subpolar low pressure belts. We can see here in the diagram. We will study with the help of the diagram so that you can understand clearly and very well your concept becomes clear. Now we have studied these 2, equatorial and the mid latitudinal high pressure belts. Now we are going to study, this is a subpolar low pressure belt. Subpolar low pressure belts. Where it lies between 55 degrees to 65 degrees parallels, that is both north as well as the south hemisphere. Northern and the southern hemisphere it lies. In both the hemispheres we have the subpolar low pressure belt. Okay, let us see it in detail now. Due to the Earth's curvature, now you can see, children, here in the diagram, this is the equator. This is the broader part of the Earth's surface in the center. The Earth bulges at the equator. It bulges means it is the biggest circle on the Earth's surface. Now you can see that the size of the Earth, that is the shape of the Earth, is spherical in shape. So when you move from here to here, the intensity of the heat is reduced because the rays become more slanting than from the equator. On equator we have the direct rays, whereas the rays are slanting on the subpolar low pressure belt. So let us see. Due to the Earth's curvature, this is the curve, right? This is the curve of the Earth's surface. This is called as a curve. Due to the Earth's curvature, the area between 2 parallels get reduced as we move towards the poles. So the area is reduced. Less area is there. Area goes on reducing when we are moving towards the polar region. This results in lesser friction of air with the Earth's surface. Therefore, there is less contact of the air with the Earth's surface. Air in this region is thrown out because of this reduced friction. Why? Because there is less friction, less contact between the earth's surface and the air. Therefore the air is thrown away. And also because of the earth's rotational motion. And the second thing what is responsible is the rotation of the earth, which is responsible for the change in the direction of the air. This leads to the development of a low pressure belt, and therefore what happens? A low pressure area is developed over there in what? Between 55 to 65 degree parallels in both the hemispheres, and that is why we have subpolar low pressure belt in the polar region. That is 55 degree to 65 degree parallels we have subpolar low pressure belt. I hope this is clear to you children. The reason is, what is the reason behind this? That is, air is thrown out because there is less contact between the air and the earth. Okay, it goes at a higher altitude. So higher altitude the air becomes lighter in the weight. Now the next one is polar high pressure belts. Let us see here the diagram first. Let us observe and understand properly. We have studied subpolar low pressure belt. That is, it lies between 55 degree to 65 degree parallels in both the hemispheres, right? Now the next is the polar high pressure belt. These are the polar belts. Now this is which area? This is the Arctic Ocean region children. North Pole. It is covered with the Arctic Ocean, and Antarctica continent covers the southern part, that is the South Pole. So here also we have the polar high pressure belts. Now why the high pressure belt is there? Air pressure is high because here the temperature is low. It is extreme cold over there. It is a snow covered region. So temperature is low, and therefore what happens? Air pressure is high. We have studied. It goes vice versa. If temperature is high, air pressure is low. If air pressure is high, temperature will be low. So here we have on the polar region, we have the high pressure belt. The reason behind this is what? That is, the temperature is low, so air pressure is high. So let us study now the polar high pressure belts. It lies between 65 degrees to 90 degrees, right? In both the polar regions, the temperature is below 0 degree centigrade. Now what is the temperature? Below 0 degree centigrade throughout the year. Means throughout the year it always remains very, very cold. Hence here the air is cold. As a result, high pressure belts get formed. These are called polar high pressure belts. I have told you, if the temperatures are high, air pressure is low. So here air pressure is high. Why? Because temperature is 0 degree Celsius. It is very, very cold over there. They generally occupy the area between 80 and 90 degree parallels in both the hemispheres. Which area is covered? 80 to 90 degree parallel area is included by the polar high pressure belt. The duration and the intensity of sun rays varies during particular periods of the year in both the hemispheres. What happens? The duration, how long the sun rays are available to us, and the intensity, that is how much heat is received by the polar region during that time of the sun. Duration and the intensity of sun rays varies during particular periods of the year. It means according to the different seasons, we get the different intensity of the heat. As a result, the locations of the temperature zones and the pressure belts dependent on the sun's heat also vary. So what happens? Temperature zones and the pressure belts, it is both are dependent on the heat received by the sun. Therefore, they keep on varying. Varying means changing. This change is of the order 5 degree to 7 degrees towards north in Uttarayan. So, how much is the change? That is 5 degree to 7 degrees change occurs in Uttarayan, and in the 5 degrees to 7 degrees in the south, that is in the Dakshinayan. So this is called the oscillation of pressure belts. Means the pressure belts, they are moving towards 5 to 7 degree in the northern hemisphere in the Uttarayan, and 5 to 7 degrees in the south hemisphere, that is the Dakshinayan period. Okay, and this is called oscillation of belts. Oscillation means what? Movement of the pressure belts according to the heat received by the sun. Now one important thing, always remember, the major difference between the temperature zones and pressure belts is that the temperature zones are continuous and are spread from equator to the poles. Now what is the difference? That is the most important difference between the temperature zones and pressure belts is what? That I told you in the beginning, temperature zones occupy wider area. So they are in continuity. We have torrid zone, temperate zone and the frigid zone. But what happens here? Pressure belts are not continuous and areas of high and low pressure are found in different regions from equator to the poles. Pressure belts are not continuous. Sometimes you are finding low pressure belt, then high pressure belt, then low pressure belt, then high pressure belt. So in this way we find pressure belts are not occupying a wider area and they are not continuous. Areas of high and low pressure are found in different regions from the equator to the poles. Okay, temperature zones are fixed. Torrid zone, temperate zone and frigid zone, they cover a wider area. Let us see the effects of air pressure. What effects do we have? Origin of the winds. The winds which are originating, that is the winds which originate from northern hemisphere, they turn towards the northeast. Which start from the south, they turn towards the southwest, means there is a change in the direction of the winds. Second, generation of storms. Storms are generated because of the air pressure. Convectional type of rain. What is convectional rain? I hope this is, if you remember, we have studied in 6th standard convectional type of rain, that when the heat improves, when the heat received is more, that day sometimes it starts raining. So that is called as the convectional rain. Then air pressure affects the breathing activity too. Air pressure has an effect on the breathing of ours and all the living organisms. An example I give you, when we are traveling by aeroplane, we are flying, the air pressure is low over there because the air is less in the atmosphere as we start moving up from the Earth's surface. As we start moving away from the Earth's surface, the air pressure is low. So what happens? We are provided with the oxygen cylinder to breathe. So air pressure affects the breathing activity also. Let's continue. Our next topic is isobars. Let me explain you first what is the meaning of isobar. The line that joins the places of equal pressure on the map is called an isobar. So isobar means what? The line that joins the places of equal pressure. Now which pressure? That is the air pressure. Quite natural, we are studying about the air pressure. So the line that joins the places of equal air pressure on the map is called an isobar. Now here you can see the diagram, children. This is the world map. You can see here. Let me start from here. You can see this is the equator point, that is the center of the earth. We have the equatorial low pressure belt. You can see it is mentioned over there. Then in the red it is written mid latitudinal high pressure belt, right? Then we have here subpolar low pressure belt, and here we have the polar high pressure belt. This is the region. Now when you observe this diagram carefully, let's see here what happens. This is the northern hemisphere, right? This is northern hemisphere and this is southern hemisphere. So here you will find there is a difference in the lines. The lines are going circular also, and the lines are away from each other. The lines are away from each other and they are going circular also in the shape around there only. This means what? It means what? When the lines are not closer to each other. These are the lines which are joining the places of having equal air pressure. Now when these lines are away from each other, in the northern hemisphere, it means there the air pressure is low in these areas. Difference in the isobars shows there is a low air pressure in these areas. Now in the southern hemisphere, you can see here the lines are closer to each other. So you can see lines are too close to each other. Now when they are close to each other, it means that these lines show high air pressure. These lines are showing what? High air pressure in this region. Okay. The distance between two successive isobars over the oceans. Now this is the Pacific Ocean. Here you can have the Atlantic Ocean. Here you have the Indian Ocean. The distance between two successive isobars over oceans is close to each other, whereas the distance between successive isobars over land, now this is the oceanic part, over the land is more and they are further away from each other. They are further away from each other in the land area, whereas when the oceanic part is there, what happens in the oceanic part? They are closer to each other in the oceanic part. On the land part, land area, they are away, they are further from each other. Okay. Now what do you find? Northern hemisphere, the isobars are away, they are not closer to each other, so it is a low pressure. Here they are closer to each other, it means they are having the high pressure. Okay. Now this map shows, these lines on this world map shows the air pressure on the earth's surface, which is shown by these lines. These lines are called as the isobars. Students, you can observe that the isobars are forming a circular path also somewhere. You can see here, right? See, this circular path is there, round. It shows what? It shows that the pressure is same, air pressure is same throughout the Asia. Throughout Asia, the temperature is, the air pressure is same. Okay. In the southern hemisphere, isobars are more parallel to each other and they are closer to each other. Whereas in the northern hemisphere, isobars are hardly parallel to each other and they go round in circular shapes. You can see here round, you can see here circular shape, here also circular shape. They go round in circular shape and there is lot of distance between them. They have more of the distance. So I think now this isobars are clear to you, how we get the air pressure on the Earth's surface. They have shown here. You can answer the questions which are given there and write it in your activity file. Okay. I hope this topic is clear to you all. All the best, children.